strung me along for years, and now after 11 years, she's done, dumping me out of the blue like that. That's crazy, man.
I filed for divorce on Friday. And, yeah. Right now, it's a pretty crazy time.
If Kandi Burruss thought that Todd was going to let her dump him without drama, she is in for a major shock, because Todd is determined to create as much chaos as possible. Kandi shocked everyone when she filed for divorce after 11 years of marriage, but things are about to get chaotic. Now she has been trying to keep it cute, but Todd just exposed the messiness going on behind the scenes. And let's just say that things are about to get real ugly. He's out here dragging her for using and dumping him and also ruining his life. But it doesn't end there, because he also filed for custody of the kids and made some concerning claims about Kandi. It looks like Todd is determined to fight dirty. So let's get into what he has to say. Okay, so it looks like whatever story Kandi is trying to spin, Todd wants no part of it. In fact, it seems like he is actively trying to counter her. So y'all already know that the tea is going to be spicy. Kandi's divorce filing came out of nowhere, but from the way she's telling it, it seems like the marriage has been on the rocks for a hot minute.
I filed for divorce on Friday. And, yeah. Right now, it's a pretty crazy time. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I am up and down. You know, obviously going through a divorce is definitely not the easiest thing. You know, sometimes, you know, you're cool, you know what I mean? You're moving, you're mixing, you're moving, you're hanging out with friends. But then sometimes you have your moments of sadness, you know, and me being the Taurus that I am, I like to keep those moments to myself.
Speaking to People magazine, she said, "This is a difficult and emotional time, but my focus remains on protecting my peace, being the best mother I can be, and co-parenting with love and respect. I'm stepping into a new chapter, pouring into my work, my family, and my own growth. Now, like I said, she has been keeping it cute, but there's some tension going on behind the scenes. To make matters worse, there are rumors that her team is pushing the narrative that she dumped Todd because he just wasn't man enough and she wore the pants in the relationship. And honestly, it wouldn't have been very hard to push that narrative because fans have been giving Todd the side eye since he got together with Kandi. This is because Kandi has always been the richer one in the relationship, and she has always been the one pushing for the relationship. To be fair, it's not like Todd is broke or anything like that, because he was working on the production team on Real Housewives, which is how they met in the first place. They started doing the nasty, but Todd did not want to commit to her, and she pretty much had to force him to even ask her to be his girlfriend. In an interview, he even admitted that he wanted nothing more than just casual hookups from Kandi.
Were you thinking about marriage at all?
Nah. I just thought she was cool. I was like, she's cool. She's real chill. Like, I like her little energy. She got a big booty. Ow, what's up? You know what I mean? But nah, it wasn't. Yeah, the marriage thing didn't come to the prayer thing and her telling me to make a decision. I was like, oh, I like that shit. That shit is hot.
Well, let's
Who
be
she
clear.
think she is?
Well, I mean, come on. I didn't have time to be playing games with you. He used to be one of those dudes who would make people feel like they was in a relationship even though they weren't.
Yeah, I like to.
And I ain't gonna lie, I used to do that to people
I like to play
too
boyfriend,
sometimes.
girlfriend. That's my shit.
Yeah.
I'll take you on a good date. I could woo you.
Yeah.
But we ain't together though. Time out.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to do that too to some people.
Yeah, that sent off some red flags. Anywho, after they started dating, Todd had to leave his job because there was a rule about producers dating the cast members. Now, he always tried to play this as him making a huge sacrifice for their relationship. However, fans had doubts about that, and there has been some talk about how he used Kandi for a come-up. See, at the time they got together, Kandi was already a Grammy-winning artist, had successful businesses, and was thriving. Now, I'm not saying that Todd was broke or anything like that, but people still had their doubts, and it wasn't just fans being suspicious. Turns out that people who knew them in real life also had their suspicions. For example, do y'all remember when Natalie hinted that Todd was using Kandi as a come-up?
She's trying to be everybody's friend, but she was the one telling Cynthia that your man was an opportunity.
got him, put me in it now. We did have a conversation about it. She knows Todd, and she did say that, he was a hustler. A hustler, which is the same thing as an opportunity.
No, I mean, it could be, if you're saying a hustler is...
Help me understand, what do you mean? Why do you say that he had his way of swerving?
He had his, Todd was always on the come up. Always found himself in a better situation.
Natalie, don't water it down.
Honestly, you seem sweet, but you're doing the same thing to Kandi that she just did to you. That's her fiance, and you're calling out her fiance in a way about cheating on her.
No. And that wasn't what was said, Kandi. That wasn't what was said at all. That was just the past.
You trying me right now. You trying me.
But Kandi wasn't willing to hear all that at the time. Oh, and don't even get me started on how Todd's ex called him out for cheating on her with Kandi and how he was using Kandi for clout. The ex is a woman named Mela, and she took to Facebook to say, "My phone been going off all morning about Todd and Kandi. I know, been known. She has millions. So if I was him, I would shack up with the B I said could not sing, and was a trick also. Maybe she will buy him that Rolex and Jag he wants, since he did say she just a trick." She also said, "What kills me, he talked hella-ish about her, how she can't sing, he don't care for her music, how she had a fat butt, but her face is all right, he is funny girl, sending me message about how much his misses me, and she is just to help him get into the Atlanta circle." Again, another person was talking about how Todd was only using Kandi for her money and influence, but Kandi didn't listen, because y'all know that people don't listen when they're in love. Kandi's mom, Mama Joyce, even called him out to his face and told him that she knew he was an opportunist and could see through him.
Even though I do feel you're opportunist.
What do you think I'm getting out of it?
What you getting out of it? Now, let me tell you, ain't no river high enough. Ain't no deep enough. Ain't no desert hot enough to keep me home. Baby.
Okay, I'm sorry.
She also made it clear that she had zero respect for him.
I didn't stop liking you. I stopped respecting you.
Why was that?
At first, you just seemed to be a working guy, and then after you got with Kandi, it's just like the work stopped.
I just know that Mama Joyce is celebrating this divorce because she has been waiting for a long time for this. And don't even get me started on the prenup drama, because Todd came this close to not signing a prenup. When they were about to get married, Kandi did the smart thing and protected herself by having her lawyers draft up a prenup. But Todd acted all insulted and refused to sign. And surprise, he got into it with Mama Joyce. So yeah, there has been a lot of talk about how Todd was just a user, and it looks like this was what ultimately led to their divorce. According to reports, Kandi asked the courts to enforce their prenup agreement, which tells us that she is trying to protect herself and her assets. Well, unfortunately, Todd isn't taking this as well as you would expect. According to reports, he has allegedly been crashing out on Kandi. He's flipping the script and accusing her of being the user and not the other way around. According to him, she tricked him into giving up his job and his career for their relationship, only to dump him when the situation no longer served her. But he's taking things even further, because word on the streets is that he's allegedly planning to ask the court for full custody of their kids. And from what insiders are saying, he's not doing that because he wants the kids. Allegedly, he's planning to get child support and alimony from Kandi. Yeah, this man is desperate to get his coins, that's for sure. So, at this point, whatever fantasy people had about a peaceful breakup, yeah, throw that out. Todd isn't just walking away, he's flipping the entire table on his way out, and Kandi clearly did not expect this level of smoke. One minute she's talking about protecting her peace, and the next minute Todd is out here acting like she detonated his entire life and walked away whistling. And the part that should have everybody on edge is that Todd filing for custody wasn't a threat, it was the opening move. If he's willing to drag this into the courtroom, you already know he's holding on to receipts he thinks can hurt her. And based on how fast this went, from we're co-parenting with love to dragging her, this is about to snowball into something way messier than anyone expected. So buckle up, because if this is how the first round looks, it's only going to get worse. Stay tuned, because this story is only getting uglier from here.